I need to do something at 12 o'clock at night. Yesterday, I was a little under the weather. I was on calls from 8 o'clock till midnight. We just had to close this transaction and things are going on. I have a little bad throat, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You're an entrepreneur, you're a businessman. There is no off.
Yeah. There's no off.
There's no 9 to 5.
There is no
And
off.
it's not that you need to be in office.
But what happens to work-life balance?
Look, Arnab,
I'm
I'm not part of that school. I'm not going to get into that controversy.
I'm also not yet.
For me, everything is work. Yeah?
I don't understand.
I got to do what I got to do.
What is this work-life balance thing?
Listen.
Is work not life? See, when you talk about work-life balance 24/7, and I know people will abuse me for this.
Yeah.
You begin with the presumption that work is not life.
Absolutely. I mean, if it's passion,
Are you not living when you're working?
Absolutely. And I mean, right now, I'm enjoying this. I don't know whether this is work or whether this is.
It is what it is. Even
play.
I don't know this work or play, but this is it.
That's it. You gotta enjoy what you do.
This is the best takeaway that I've got, ladies and gentlemen. This work-life balance, yes, work and life, family, everything important, but don't feel weary about work. Don't drag your feet to work.
You gotta enjoy what you do.
Don't walk in thinking was another day. You can't do that. I'm reading this book called 4,000 Weeks. A friend of mine gave me this 4,000 Weeks.
Right.
It said, you know what 4,000 Weeks is? I'm going to gift you a copy of this book. It says you've got 4,000 weeks to live if you live to the age of 80. But if anyone tells you you've got 4,000 weeks, the whole sense of mortality hits you. Now, because we're going to die one day, should we stop working?
Yeah.
So I don't like this attitude at all. I think every day is an opportunity. Every week brings new energy.
Oh yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And I am telling you one thing. I'm going to make a prophetic conclusion to this. Let me actually drive it. We're back here. And I'm going to make a more prophetic conclusion at the end of this. Right, 1 second. Let me park the car here. How you enjoyed my slow drive experience?
We gotta go to D&D again.
Here we go.
Without the cameras.
Without the cameras.
I don't know if you drive fast. I can. I will zip.
I can. But now I'm well behaved. Okay. So we're going to conclude the sequence here. What's it? Let's switch.
This was real fun.
This was fun?
Being driven at a speed of 25?
No, not that,
no.
Right? But being driven. So to conclude, Devansh, I wanted to say something about you. I have loved the part where you said today to me that you want to be one of the biggest businessmen of all time. This interview you keep with you. Because 10 years from now, you will say that you made that statement, and I would say without a doubt he will. Well, I've enjoyed. Thank you, Devansh, and best of luck to you, man, in everything you do. Thank you.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Character, the taste of success.
Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British aspirations missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट
Character, the taste of success.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरे राजा
राजा आर प्योर मसाला
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Another assassination attempt on Donald Trump as White House Correspondents Dinner. A shooter in custody of FBI team after Secret Service apprehends him.
These are crazy people. These are crazy people, and they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people.
In his first reaction on the assassination attempt, Trump says a shooter apprehended. Let the show go on. Adds not the first time Republicans have been attacked. Shooter's Democratic connections now in focus. 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen allegedly donated $25 to Harris's presidential campaign. Republic's chief consulting editor Saurav Shukla reports live from White House. In fact, he was there at the White House Correspondents Dinner while the shooting happened. Clashes at BJP candidates' roadshow in Howrah between BJP and TMC over slogans. Police resorts to lathi charge. New Zealand PM Christopher Luxon announces that New Zealand and India to sign FTA free trade agreement tomorrow night. Deadly blast leaves chaos on highway as violence escalates in southwestern Colombia. At least 14 people killed.
रहने वाली है। साथियों, आप सभी इतनी बड़ी संख्या में हमें आशीर्वाद देने आए हैं, ये हम सभी का बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है। पहले चरण की वोटिंग में बंगाल ने कमाल कर दिया है। अब मुझे आप लोग बताएंगे, मैं एक सवाल पूछूं, जवाब देंगे? सबके सब देंगे? ये पहले चरण में इतना भारी मतदान हो गया तो फिर आप सो नहीं जाएंगे ना? जागते रहेंगे, घर घर जाएंगे, एक एक मतदान को मिलेंगे, पोलिंग बूथ में बराबर ताकत लगाएंगे, पक्का? पहले चरण का रिकॉर्ड तोड़ेंगे? जरा जोर से बताइए, तोड़ेंगे? जरा आंख भर करके बताइए, तोड़ेंगे? यही करके दिखाना है। देखिए, पहले चरण में टीएमसी का अहंकार टूट गया है। अब दूसरे चरण में बीजेपी सरकार की प्रचंड जीत पक्की होने जा रही है। प्रथम चरणे भांगलो टीएमसी अहंकार, द्वितीय चरणे निश्चितो बीजेपी सरकार। साथियों, बंगाल का ये चुनाव अब अंतिम चरण में है, लेकिन आपने एक बात नोटिस की होगी, 15 साल पहले टीएमसी मां, माटी और मानुष की बातें करके सत्ता में आई थी, लेकिन अब इनके मुंह से मां, माटी और मानुष ये शब्द तक नहीं निकलते। आखिर क्यों? क्या कारण है? मैं कारण आपको बताता हूं। साथियों, ये टीएमसी वाले अगर मां, माटी और मानुष की याद दिलाएंगे तो इनके पाप सामने आ जाएंगे। टीएमसी की निर्ममता ने मां को रुला दिया, माटी को सिंडिकेट और घुसपैठियों के हवाले कर दिया और बंगाल के मानुष को पलायन के लिए मजबूर कर दिया। साथियों, टीएमसी के महाजंगल राज में छोटे से छोटा नेता, छोटे से छोटा गुंडा भी खुद को सरकार समझता है। 24 परगना हुगली नदी के इर्द गिर्द का इलाका ये कभी मिलों और फैक्ट्रियों का इलाका हुआ करता था, लेकिन आज मिलों पर ताले लगने के नोटिस की ही खबरें आती है। अंग्रेजों के जमाने से चले आ रहे कारखाने भी बंद हो रहे हैं। बोनगांव से बैरकपुर तक अनेक जूट मिले, अनेक फैक्ट्रियां 15 साल में बंद हुई है। सिर्फ एक ही फैक्ट्री, एक ही दुकान फली फूली है, और ये दुकान है सिंडिकेट की कटमनी और कमीशन खोरी। मिलों की जमीन पर कब्जे की, किसानों को बर्बाद और तबाह करने की, ऐसी सरकार को यहां से जाना ही होगा। ऐसी सरकार को हटाना ही होगा। इसलिए बंगाल का एक ही नारा है, एक ही निर्णय है, पलटानो दरकार, पलटानो दरकार, पलटानो दरकार। साथियों, बंगाल के पास सब कुछ है। बंगाल के लोगों के पास सामर्थ्य भी भरपूर है। इसलिए बंगाल फिर से देश का नंबर 1 राज्य बन सकता है। हमें बस नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस के आह्वान को याद रखना है। याद रखोगे? जोर से बताइए, याद रखोगे? याद रखोगे? नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस ने कहा था, तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा। साथियों, नेताजी के आह्वान पर देश ने सर्वस्व न्योछावर कर दिया। आज बंगाल को आपके एक वोट की जरूरत है। बंगाल को आपके एक वोट की जरूरत है। आप हमें आशीर्वाद दीजिए, अपना वोट दीजिए। हम आपको टीएमसी से आजादी दिलाएंगे। आजादी टीएमसी के महाजंगल राज से, आजादी टीएमसी के भय से, आजादी टीएमसी के भ्रष्टाचार से, आजादी बेटियों पर अत्याचार से, आजादी बेकारी और बेरोजगारी से, आजादी लूटती भर्ती परीक्षा से, आजादी घुसपैठियों के कब्जे से, आजादी दंगाइयों और मस्तानों से। साथियों, बीजेपी के लिए किसानों का कल्याण भी हमारी प्राथमिकता है। हम जुट किसानों और श्रमिकों की चिंता समझते हैं। इसलिए केंद्र की बीजेपी सरकार ने 11 साल में जूट का एमएसपी डबल कर दिया, डबल। जूट किसानों से जूट खरीद 3 गुना से अधिक कर दी। गेहूं और चावल की पैकिंग में 100% जूट की पैकिंग भी अनिवार्य कर दी। हमने सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक पर बैन लगाया ताकि जूट का उपयोग बढ़े। बंगाल की जूट मिलों को ज्यादा से ज्यादा ऑर्डर मिले, लेकिन टीएमसी का सिंडिकेट यहां मिलों को चलने ही नहीं देता। यहां के किसानों की भलाई के लिए आपको टीएमसी सरकार को अब गाजे बाजे के साथ विदाई देनी ही होगी। साथियों, टीएमसी के महाजंगल राज की सबसे बड़ी पीड़ित हमारी बहनें, हमारी बेटियां। बहनों के साथ सबसे बड़ा धोखा हुआ है। इसलिए इस बार सबसे अधिक गुस्सा बहनों में ही दिख रहा है। संदेश थाली में बहनों के साथ गुंडे अन्याय करते रहे। टीएमसी की निर्मम सरकार गुंडों को साथ देती रही। इतना ही नहीं, यहां तो बहनों को ही गाली दी गई। मेरे प्यारे बंगाल के भाई बहन, ये कभी भी भूलना नहीं है। साथियों, टीएमसी के महाजंगल राज में यहां से बेटियां लापता हो रही है, लेकिन टीएमसी सरकार सोई पड़ी है। बेटियों की इनको कोई चिंता नहीं है। लेकिन अब और नहीं, जो ये गुंडे हैं, ये जो रेपिस्ट है, 4 मई के बाद बीजेपी की सरकार उनका हिसाब करेगी, चुन चुन करके हिसाब करेगी। और इसलिए मैं सभी बहनों से कहने आया हूं, अब सहना नहीं है, अत्याचारियों को हटाना है। और सत्यो कोरबोना अत्याचारी देर के शौर्य देवो। साथियों, बीजेपी बहनों बेटियों को सुरक्षा भी देती है और अवसर भी देती है। संदेश खाली के बहनों के संघर्ष से जुड़ी एक बहन को बीजेपी ने टिकट दिया है। आरजी कार में जिस बेटी की हत्या हुई, उस डॉक्टर बेटी की मां को बीजेपी ने अपना उम्मीदवार बनाया है। ये बंगाल की बेटियों की सुरक्षा के प्रति बीजेपी के कमिटमेंट का प्रमाण है। साथियों, बंगाल में बनने वाली बीजेपी सरकार कदम कदम पर बंगाल की बेटियों को मदद देगी। बहनों को चिंता होती है कि घर का बजट भी न बढ़े और बच्चे भी भूखे न सोए। इसलिए बीजेपी सरकार आपको मुफ्त चावल देती है। इससे हर परिवार को 7 से 10 हजार रुपए की बचत हर वर्ष हो रही है। साथियों, जिन बहनों को उनके पास अगर पक्का घर नहीं है तो उनको बीजेपी सरकार 1.5 लाख रुपए देगी ताकि वे अपना पक्का घर बना सके। साथियों, टीएमसी की निर्मम सरकार ने आपको आर्सेनिक वाला, जहर वाला पानी पीने को मजबूर करके रखा है। बीजेपी सरकार हर घर तक नल से शुद्ध जल पहुंचाएगी। आपका बिजली बिल 0 हो, इसके लिए बीजेपी सरकार करीब 80,000 रुपए देगी ताकि आप अपने छत पर अपना खुद का सोलर प्लांट लगा सके। साथियों, बीजेपी की सरकार में यहां बंगाल की बहनों को अपनी बीमारी का इलाज टालने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। आप देखिए, कल्याणी में एम्स हमने बनाया है। हमारी सरकार आपको और खास करके मेरी माताओं, बहनों, बेटियों को 5 लाख रुपए का मुफ्त इलाज देगी। 5 लाख रुपए। जन औषधि केंद्रों पर 80% डिस्काउंट में दवा दी जाएगी। ब्रेस्ट कैंसर हो, सर्वाइकल कैंसर हो, इनकी जांच और टीका मुफ्त लगाया जाएगा और साथ ही गर्भावस्था के दौरान 21,000 रुपए की मदद और ग्रेजुएशन के लिए बेटियों को 50,000 रुपए की मदद, ये भी बीजेपी सरकार देने वाली है।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MDH का जल जीरा, जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British aspirations missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy flares and jamming better than before. The Indian Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG-29 UPG jets in frontline squadrons. These planes guard the northern and western borders day and night. Earlier upgrades added new radars, engines, and digital cockpits, but the short-range missiles stayed old. Now the ASRAAM brings fire-and-forget technology. Once the pilot locks on and fires, the missile finds the target on its own, even if the jet turns away to dodge enemy fire. It also works with helmet-mounted displays, so the pilot can just look at the enemy plane through the visor and the missile follows the eyes. This high off-bore sight ability lets the jet attack from strange angles without turning the whole plane first.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Another assassination attempt on Donald Trump as White House Correspondents Dinner. Shooter in custody of FBI team after Secret Service apprehends him.
These are crazy people. These are crazy people, and they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people.
In his first reaction on the assassination attempt, Trump says shooter apprehended. Let the show go on, adds not the first time Republicans have been attacked. Shooter's Democratic connections now in focus. 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen allegedly donated $25 to Harris's presidential campaign. Republic's chief consulting editor Saurav Shukla reports live from White House. In fact, he was there at the White House Correspondents Dinner. Clashes at BJP candidates' roadshow in Howrah between BJP and TMC over slogans. Police resorts to lathi charge. New Zealand PM Christopher Luxon announces that New Zealand and India to sign FTA free trade agreement tomorrow night. Deadly blast leaves chaos on highway as violence escalates in southwestern Colombia. At least 14 people killed.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा।
का राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy flares and jamming better than before. The Indian Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG-29 UPG jets in frontline squadrons. These planes guard the northern and western borders day and night. Earlier upgrades added new radars, engines, and digital cockpits, but the short-range missiles stayed old. Now the ASRAAM brings fire-and-forget technology. Once the pilot locks on and fires, the missile finds the target on its own, even if the jet turns away to dodge enemy fire. It also works with helmet-mounted displays, so the pilot can just look at the enemy plane through the visor and the missile follows the eyes. This high off-bore sight ability lets the jet attack from strange angles without turning the whole plane first. This upgrade matters a lot because the region stays tense. Pakistan flies JF-17 jets with modern PL-10 missiles.
यहां रह रहा है वो 29 अप्रैल से पहले बंगाल और हिंदुस्तान छोड़ दे, वरना 4 मई के बाद हर घुसपैठियों को खदेड़ा जाएगा। टीएमसी किसी भी घुसपैठियों को बचा नहीं पाएगी। साथियों, विभूति भूषण बंदोपाध्याय जी ने पाथेर पांचाली जैसी कालजयी रचना की है। उसमें उन्होंने पलायन, गरीबी और बहनों के संघर्ष की कहानी बताई है। वो आज भी बंगाल की सच्चाई है। ये चुनाव इस स्थिति को बदलने का चुनाव है। ये काम हमें मिलकर करना है। इसके लिए हर बूथ पर आपका एक एक वोट कमल पर पड़ना चाहिए। आप बीजेपी के हमारे सभी उम्मीदवारों को एमएलए बनाइए। ये बीजेपी का पहला सीएम बनाएंगे। फिर पीएम और सीएम मिलकर आपके सभी सपने पूरे करने के लिए दिन रात मेहनत करेंगे। इसी आग्रह के साथ आप सभी का बहुत बहुत आभार। दोनों हाथ ऊपर करके मुट्ठी बंद करके बोलिए, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, वंदे 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 वंदे।
All right, viewers, Prime Minister Modi speaking there, and this is North 24 Parganas, West Bengal. Remember that particularly speaking about South West Bengal and Kolkata districts, these are going to polls in second phase. So right now the entire focus has moved there. And later in the day, Prime Minister Modi will be addressing a mega road show in Kolkata. So after a record voter turnout in the first phase of the West Bengal Assembly election, Prime Minister Modi has invoked Subhash Chandra Bose to call for a new revolution in the state. And while addressing, Prime Minister Modi has made many statements saying that Bengal has everything, the people of Bengal have abundant capability, so Bengal can once again become the #1 state in the country. We just need to remember Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's call. Okay, we're getting some more breaking updates coming in. At least 14 people were killed and nearly 40 injured, including 5 minors. This is coming in when an explosive device detonated as a bus passed by on the Pan American Highway. And this is southwest area of Colombia. Now, this happened on Saturday. The commander of Colombia's armed forces called it a terrorist attack and blamed the network of Ivan Mordisco and the Jamie Martinez faction, both dissidents of the now defunct FARC, who rejected the 2016 peace agreement. Attack is the latest in spate of explosions targeting public infrastructure. At least 26 incidents have occurred in the past 2 days across southwestern Colombia. These include a shooting at a police station in Jaumendi, an attack on civil aviation radar facility in El Tambo, where authorities downed 3 explosive-laden drones and 2 vehicle-borne IEDs detonating near the military units. Okay, let's go across to my colleague who's joining us, Gesu, who's joining us live from our newsroom. Okay, so terrorism is plaguing Colombia. We're getting these updates coming in, Gesu. What are we learning of? What's the latest that you're picking up?
Right, Shivangi, and you also mentioned 26 incidents have been recorded in the last 2 days. Now, in the recent one that happened, a bus was detonated, and this has possibly been done by an IED attack, though there is no confirmation on it yet. But the first statements reveal that this was an IED attack on the South American Highway, where in Colombia, a bus carrying multiple passengers was detonated. In fact, 14 people have been killed so far. Not just that, 5 minors are severely injured amongst those who've been injured. 14 people were killed on the spot. These 5 minors have been rushed to separate medical facilities across the area. In fact, Colombia's army chief has made it very clear that this is an act of terrorism. And remember, Shivangi, this comes to the heels of Colombia actually eyeing a presidential election. And also very important, the manifesto of this presidential election is pegged around the fact that, you know, the new government will continue to fight for peace. And remember, the reason behind this attack, the 26 that have been noted in the last 2 days, it's being said that it is over some differences on the 2016 peace accord. Now, remember, Colombia is marred with internal conflicts. Their internal rebel groups have taken over. And after the 2016 peace accord was signed, now they're saying that the rebel groups are not on the same page with the government or the military. Now, remember, these attacks include several other attacks also apart from the bus incident. Just a few days back, in fact, a police station was struck. This happened on Saturday. On Friday, in fact, a military station, there were explosives that went off near a military station as well.
Before I let you go, just a short, question to you before we move ahead. You know, this is coming just ahead of the presidential elections, and the attack has been blamed on dissidents and rebels. So if you could just help our viewers understand how will this impact the upcoming elections.
Now, Shivangi, the impact on the elections, of course, remember, both the opposition and even the ruling party in Colombia, including their military, they have just one aim, that peace must prevail. So what they've been doing for so long, since 2016, they were successfully able to make the rebel groups come on the same page as the government and sign a peace accord where these rebel groups had to put down their arms and these internal conflicts were supposed to come to an end. But now what's emerging currently is that these rebel groups are still not on board with with the 2016 accord. Now remember, this is about some of the biggest drug trafficking cartels also inside Colombia, and this also includes various other rebel groups. So this is not a one-faceted issue that Colombia has been dealing with, neither is this a new one. So for example, this time around when we are looking at the presidential elections, of course this will have a huge part to play. What makes it a lot more complex is that right before approaching the presidential elections, which are supposed to happen in May, I believe, even then these attacks have gone forward. 26 attacks have been reported in the last 2 days. So of course it is going to severely dent the government, but also what other option do the people of Colombia really have? Because the government is the only force, the military is the only force, the opposition along with the government, they're the only ones who are emerging as key mediators with these rebel groups that are completely out of hand, out of control for so long. Now remember, this was the same government that was able to strike a peace accord that was signed in 2016, and for a very long time, in fact, Colombia remained largely peaceful. However, these incidents have started floating up again. So we're yet to see how this is going to impact the presidential elections, given the fact that this government has been able to do some good groundwork and bring the rebels and drug cartels on the same page. But remember, the problem is flaring up again. So, of course, it remains to be seen what happens in May. Shivangi.
All right. Thank you, Casey, for getting us all those details. A massive attack there being reported in southwestern Colombia. A very, very crucial time that incident has come in. Thank you, Casey. So let's move ahead. We're getting some more updates coming in. And the big update, of course, is what we're looking forward to. The New Zealand's free trade agreement with India will be signed on Monday night, says New Zealand's Prime Minister Christopher Luxon. This is a huge update in terms of good news. India and New Zealand will sign the FTA. And why this is very important is because this will remove the tariffs on 100% of India's exports to New Zealand and either sharply reduce or remove the tariffs on 95% of current imports from New Zealand. This is an announcement which has been made, and like we said, this is going to be a very, very big update in terms of what we can gain out of it in terms of the economic ties with New Zealand. We actually have a reaction coming in on this, so let's go ahead and play it out.
Free trade deal with India that opens one of the biggest markets in the world to Kiwi exporters. It's a once-in-a-generation agreement that gives New Zealand exporters unprecedented access to 1.4 billion people and an economy that's set to become the third largest in the world, and it puts New Zealand exporters on an equal or better footing to our competitors, and it opens the door to India's rapidly expanding middle class. Look, 1 in 4 of our jobs in New Zealand are already linked to trade, and this FTA means more jobs on New Zealand farms and orchards. It means more money coming into local communities, and it means more opportunity for your family to get ahead. And a stronger economy means that we can invest in the roads, the schools, the hospitals and police, all the services that New Zealanders rely on. This is a big win for New Zealand, and it makes it easier for Kiwis to sell more of what we're great at to the world. Kiwi fruit from the Bay of Plenty, wine from Central Otago, seafood, meat, honey right across the country. Exports underpin our economy, and enabling these sectors to compete on the world stage means supporting jobs, higher wages and economic growth. And that means more money in Kiwis' back pockets.
Getting your big breaking news coming in, viewers. Let's move ahead to the next set of updates we're getting for you. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval paid an official visit to the UAE and called on President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. Doval conveyed greetings from Prime Minister Modi during the meeting. The two sides discussed measures to deepen the India-UAE comprehensive strategic partnership. The regional situation and other issues of mutual interest were also on the agenda. So, okay, let's put out those pictures that we are getting for you. This is a big diplomatic win that we see is playing out. NSA Ajit Doval meeting the UAE president and other leaders and discussing regional situation amid the Iran war. So both sides agreeing to strengthen the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries. Those are pictures coming in. Both sides discuss ways to strengthen their partnership, enhance cooperation on energy security amid evolving regional developments. So NSA Doval during the meeting has conveyed greetings from Prime Minister Modi and also discussing measures to deepen bilateral ties, regional security situation and other issues of mutual interest. All right, so efforts to revive diplomacy between the US and Iran have also suffered a setback, with planned talks in Islamabad failing to take off. Now, while both sides engage separately with Pakistan's leadership, deep differences and lack of direct dialogue continues to stall any progress towards a possible agreement. Take a look.
The latest push for peace in Islamabad has hit yet another roadblock as high-stakes talks between the US and Iran failed to materialize. As US-Iran talks in Islamabad ended without any direct engagement. Iranian Foreign Minister Arakchi held meetings with Pakistan's leadership as Islamabad mediated between the two sides. The US was set to send top envoys for the next round, but that plan was abruptly called off, as President Trump cancelled the visit, citing lack of clarity and progress from the Iranian side. Iran, however, maintained that its visit to Pakistan was productive, but signaled hesitation over direct talks with Washington. This comes after earlier rounds of talks in Islamabad also failed, with differences over direct engagement, nuclear demands, and the ongoing US blockade. For now, the ceasefire holds, but with talks stalled and trust deficit widening, the path to a lasting deal remains uncertain.
Clashes erupt in Horag between TMC and BJP after sloganeering face-off occurred during the BJP candidates' campaign. Stay tuned.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MDH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MDH।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy flares and jamming better than before. The Indian Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG.
Today on the Our Education College Ranking Show, discover the top colleges which are shaping careers in pharmacy, in law, architecture, BBA and hotel management. Rankings are in, but do they tell the full story? Do not miss episode 2.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Another assassination attempt at Donald Trump at the White House Correspondents Dinner. Shooter captured and set to be produced in federal court on Monday.
These are crazy people. These are crazy people, and they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people.
In his first reaction on this assassination attempt, Trump says shooter apprehended, let the show go on. Adds not the first time Republicans have been attacked. Shooter's Democratic connections now in focus. 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen allegedly donated $25 to Harris's presidential campaign. Speaking at a rally in Thakur Nagar of Bengal's North 24 Parganas, PM Modi says the first phase of polling has shattered TMC's arrogance. Clashes between BJP and TMC at BJP candidates' roadshow in Howrah over slogans. Police resort to lathi charge. And BJP TMC clash over slogans as countdown begins for phase 2 of West Bengal elections. All right, viewers, so a short while back, we heard a lot of updates coming in from West Bengal where slogans turned into clashes. Now, Jai Bangla versus Jai Shri Ram slogans were raised and that turned into clashes. High tensions were reported, heated arguments between the TMC and BJP. Central forces carried out a lathi charge and this happened in North Howrah. More details coming in of actor Ravi Kishan holding a roadshow in support of BJP candidate Umesh Rai. Now, near other areas, the TMC workers and supporters started raising many slogans like Jai Bangla slogans in front of their party office, and then the BJP workers responded with the Jai Shri Ram slogans. The situation became tense and a heated argument broke out between the two sides. Central forces used a lathi charge to bring the situation under control. Pictures coming in of the clashes in Howrah, and BJP and TMC workers clashed with each other. A lot of clashes were reported. The clashes have turned intense and security was deployed to manage the situation. So this is the updates we're getting for you as we head towards the phase 2 of polls. Let's go and play out the reactions.
राजनीति पर चर्चा करेंगे, लेकिन सबसे पहले बात करें तो थोड़ा भोजपुरी बंगाली अंदाज में जनता को क्या संदेश देंगे, क्योंकि शुरुआत आपने बंगाली फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से करियर की है।
बांग्ला बुझते पारी बोलते पारी ना, बोलते ना पारी। बंगाली फिल्म से शुरुआत हुई, बंगाली हीरोइन रही हमारी। फौलता में मैं जहां सुपरस्टार बना, यही वो धरती है जहां से रवि किशन सुपरस्टार बने थे। पहली भोजपुरी फिल्म सैया हमार। ये वो धरती है जिसका एक इतिहास है, व्यापार, पैसा, संस्कृति, लिटरेचर, ज्ञान, विद्वान। रविंद्रनाथ जी से लेके नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस, सत्यजीत रे से लेके श्याम बेनेगल, अनगिनत लोग, गिनती खत्म हो जाएगी। इस बंगाल को कुंठित रखा गया था, अब समय आ गया है। बंगाल अपने लिए वोट कर रहा है और बंगाल आजाद हो रहा है उन सारी बेड़ियों से जहां पे उसको घुट के रखने के लिए रखा था। केंद्र की डबल इंजन योजना आएगी, बंगाली मुख्यमंत्री होगा, बंगाल की धरती पे जन्म लिया हुआ, बंगाली बोलने वाला होगा। मछुआरा समाज से लेके हर समाज, रेडी पटरी टैक्सी वाला, अब सबका कल्याण होगा। सर्वे सर्वा नेता मोदी जी जब आ गए हैं, गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी हैं, भारत की सेना यहाँ लग गई है, तो अब बंगाल को आजाद होने में 4 मई को कोई रोक नहीं सकता। पूरा बंगाल जय श्री राम, माँ दुर्गा, माँ काली के आशीर्वाद से अब आगे बढ़ेगा 4 मई के बाद।
टीएमसी जो है वो नारा दे रही है कि ममता का गढ़ अजय है, और वही दूसरी तरफ बीजेपी परिवर्तन कह रही है। लेकिन अगर साउथ वेस्ट बंगाल की बात करें तो वहाँ पे वर्चस्व अच्छा खासा है।
देखिए, बंगाल स्वयं को वोट कर रहा है, बंगाल अपने आप को बचाने के लिए वोट कर रहा है। बंगाल बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठियों से बचाने के लिए वोट कर रहा है। तो ये बंगाल, ये आक्रोश, ये ज्वालामुखी जो फट रही है, ये बंगालियों की है। ये बंगाल वोट कर रहा है 92%। बंगाल अपना परिवर्तन स्वयं तय कर लिया है, कोई नहीं रोक सकता। लेफ्ट ने दबाया, बर्बाद किया, टीएमसी ने बर्बाद किया, लूटा खसोटा। अब बंगाल अपनी आजादी खुद कर रहा है। ये बंगाल ने हमेशा क्रांति दी है भारत को। आज बंगाल उसी स्वरूप में आ गया है जब अंग्रेजों के टाइम पर हुआ था। जैसे बंगाल निकला था, राष्ट्रगान निकला, नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस निकले। अब पूरा बंगाली यहाँ नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस, पंडित रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर बन चुका है। तो आप भूल जाइए, ऐतिहासिक वोट होगा। ऐसी वोटिंग भारत ने कभी देखी नहीं जो 29 तारीख को होने जा रही है।
आखिरी सवाल सर, बंगाली भाषा में ममता दीदी को क्या संदेश देंगे?
घर तुम्हार पहाड़े, नाम तुम्हार मोयना हो, हर हर महादेव।
मेरी मौजूदगी इस वक्त हावड़ा के उत्तर विधानसभा की है, जहां पे कुछ ही देर पहले जब रवि किशन बीजेपी उम्मीदवार उमेश राय के लिए रोड शो करने पहुंचे थे, लेकिन इस बीच टीएमसी के कार्यकर्ता और बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ताओं के बीच एक भिड़ंत जो है वो हो गई है। सबसे पहले अगर हम आपको बीजेपी का जो आरोप है उसके अनुसार ये टीएमसी का निर्वाचन बूथ है और यहाँ से ही देखिए ऑफिस है, माफ़ कीजिएगा, निर्वाचन ऑफिस है, और यहाँ से ही बीजेपी का आरोप है कि टीएमसी के जो कार्यकर्ता है वो निकले हैं और उसके बाद उन्होंने जो नारे हैं वो जय बंगला के नारे लगाए। तो वहीं दूसरी तरफ जो बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता थे उनकी तरफ से जय श्री राम के नारे लगाए जा रहे थे, जिसके बाद दोनों ही कार्यकर्ताओं के बीच, दोनों पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं के बीच एक झड़प हो गई है। हालांकि पुलिस की मौजूदगी भी आपको अभी नज़र आ रही होगी, यहाँ पे पुलिस बल की मौजूदगी है और पुलिस बल की मौजूदगी के बाद, पुलिस बल की हस्तक्षेप के बाद दोनों ही कार्यकर्ताओं को समझाया गया। बीजेपी का ये आरोप है कि टीएमसी के जो कार्यकर्ता थे वो लाठी डंडा लेके भी पहुंचे थे और उनके हाथ में देसी बम भी थी, लेकिन इस बीच यहाँ पे पुलिस की मौजूदगी थी, सुरक्षा बलों की मौजूदगी थी, जिसके बाद पुलिस ने माहौल को शांत करवाया और अब जा करके यहाँ पे माहौल फिलहाल शांत बना हुआ है और रवि किशन यहाँ से निकल चुके हैं।
Significant political development in Telangana. K. Kavita has launched a new party. Now this party is called the Telangana Rashtriya Sena. She is positioning herself as a fresh regional force. Kavita is aiming to carve out a space in a shifting political landscape following a split with the BRS leadership.
A big political churn in Telangana as K. Kavita formally launches her new party, Telangana Rashtriya Sena. The launch event on the outskirts of Hyderabad saw strong backing from her support base as Kavita positioned herself as a fresh alternative in state politics. Republic spoke to Kavita, where she made it clear that her aim is to emerge as a strong new force in a space she claims lacks a true regional voice.
Like education should be prioritized, so that's why I said I will provide for free health and free education. These are the two core areas under which any middle class household or any poor household is crushed if something goes wrong. The middle class of the Telangana, the laborers of the Telangana, the SC, ST, BC, minority and women of Telangana will be the core point in any scheme that I'm going to design once I form the government. We are prioritizing 5 areas, the two being these, and then farmers and employment and social justice. These 5 will be the core guiding issues of the party. I'll have to fight with my own family. I'll have to fight with other very strong parties which are on the wrong side of the dharma. So Panchajanyam is going to guide us. I am hoping the people of Telangana will love me, bless me and support me in my new endeavor.
She also laid out her core agenda, focusing on youth, women and farmers, promising welfare-driven policies. On reviving the TRS name, Kavita said her connection to the Telangana movement remains strong, calling it a legacy she helped build.
There was a lot of speculation regarding the name that you would have your party. So though you have already worked under the name of Jagruti earlier, why not Jagruti and why did you opt for TRS?
TRS is a party for which I worked 20 years myself. My blood, my sweat is in TRS. Well, of course, Honorable KCRG has moved on from that name. I haven't. So I've reclaimed it back. People of Telangana, under the name of TRS, got united, fought for the state, and were successful. Now again, we will get united, fight for these 5 core issues, and we will make sure that social justice and humanitarian values and democratic values are taken care of in Telangana.
She also unveiled the party flag, highlighting its symbolism tied to Telangana's identity and communities. Meanwhile, she also acknowledged women's role and urged more participation.
You could speak about the colors of the flag and the symbol that you have launched with, a little more about your party orientation.
Well, my party's flag has yellow as a base. Yellow is prosperity. Yellow is also turmeric. I'm very sentimental about turmeric as a woman. And green, of course, is a representation of the farmers, because without farmers, none of us can have a bite, none of us will get anything on the table. Farmers are the core of our society. So farmers, green for farmers, and blue Telangana basically represents the fact that the working class of the Telangana, the middle class of the Telangana, the laborers of the Telangana, the SC, ST, BC, minority and women of Telangana will be the core point in any scheme that I'm going to design once I form the government, and anything that I'll fight for right now being in opposition. So blue represents that.
Kavita's move comes months after her family fallout with the BRS leadership, marking a clear split within the KCR family. With a new party, a revived identity and a direct pitch to key voter groups, Kavita is now set to test her political strength in Telangana's evolving landscape.
Just days are left for the West Bengal Phase 2 polls. TMC and BJP workers clashed today, and we saw sloganeering leading to violent clashes. This coming in as the Election Commission reviews the security grid. All this and much more coming right up on the verdict.
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और बरसात, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy.
India's real estate story is no longer just a domestic narrative. It's now being shaped by global disruption, infrastructure expansion, and evolving buyer aspiration, all at the same time. Now, from international markets reacting to geopolitical shifts to infrastructure corridors opening up new investment destinations within India and cities recalibrating affordability as the demand moves up the value chain. The sector is entering a far more dynamic and interconnected phase. Welcome to Our Estate, Building the Nation. My name is Nayan and today is the 10th episode and also where we are tracking 3 key developments that are shaping the market this week. How the West Asia crisis could impact Dubai's real estate and potentially redirect luxury investments into India. What the Delhi-Dehradun Expressway means for the emerging real estate corridors and land value transformations. And why Hyderabad is seeing a surge in 2 crore homes, raising important questions around affordability and infrastructure readiness. Let's get you all the top stories.
Rising geopolitical tensions across West Asia are beginning to cast a shadow on global investment flows. And the impact is now being closely tracked in Dubai's high-end real estate market. Over the past 2 years, Dubai has emerged as a magnet for global wealth with record-breaking luxury property transactions driven by international investors, including a significant share from India. However, with uncertainty building in the region, early signals suggest a degree of recalibration. Market watchers indicate that some high-net-worth Indian investors are beginning to reassess overseas exposure while exploring opportunities closer home. This comes at a time when India's luxury housing segment is gaining ground in cities such as Mumbai, Delhi NCR and Bengaluru, with developers scaling up premium offerings, branded residences and gated communities tailored to global standards. As global volatility reshapes investor sentiment, the movement of capital is becoming more nuanced, balancing opportunity with stability and in some cases bringing the focus back to domestic markets. The Delhi-Dehradun Expressway is fast emerging as more than just a connectivity upgrade. Designed to significantly reduce travel time between Delhi and Dehradun, the corridor is beginning to influence real estate activity across multiple regions along its route. Locations such as Saharanpur, Baghpat and parts of Meerut are seeing increased developer interest, with land parcels being repositioned for plotted developments, townships and logistical infrastructure. Improved accessibility is also expected to strengthen demand for second homes and weekend destinations, particularly with fast access to Uttarakhand's hill regions. At the same time, better road connectivity is opening up new possibilities for commercial and warehousing activity along the belt. With infrastructure laying the foundation, these emerging micro markets are gradually finding a place on the investment map, reshaping how and where future growth is likely to unfold. Hyderabad is
Markets and infrastructure continue to drive the momentum. It's also the people behind these developments who are shaping how real estate evolves on the ground. In Real Talk today, we turn the spotlight on Follow Me Floric, a brand that reflects the growing demand for design-led, lifestyle-driven living spaces. Now, through this conversation, we explore how consumer expectations are changing and how developers are responding with more curated, experience-first offerings. Here's the conversation.
So wonderful to meet you, Prashant, again. We met at Delhi at the Republic Studio, I think a couple of months back. And I'm so thrilled to be here at such a wonderful place. So I remember Follow Me is less about construction and more about customers and lifestyle and commitment. And I just want to take a step back before we get into what's happening here in Bangalore to just refresh what Follow Me stands for as far as you're concerned.
So 2005 was when we launched Follow Me Waterfront, our first villa project. And those are the best years for real estate in Hyderabad as well. And then post which we saw the agitation for the separate state coming in. So the market did slow down a little bit. But we continued to do our work. We've done multiple projects in Hyderabad, having done Follow Me Aristos, which was the best villa project we got an award from CRISIL for that in 2014. Followed by Follow Me 90, which was a well-accepted gated community in a single standalone apartment complex. Then we've done Follow Me Avante, which was a 4.5 acre property, 470 units, handed over about 2 years back. Happy customers living and appreciating the life there. Currently, we have Follow Me Palazzo, our landmark project in Hyderabad, which is an uber luxury apartment of 55 floors tall. We've got very good reviews for it. We've been able to sell very well. So that's under construction, due for handing over mid of next year.
How do you look at the Bangalore market, considering Bangalore is a far more competitive market? Of course, it is a very large market. It is one of the top 3 residential or top 3 real estate markets, top in residential, top in commercial office, around 30 million of square feet, office leasing happening every year. So there are a lot of pluses that Bangalore has. But what has been the reason behind coming to Bangalore and then, starting a project in North Bangalore?
See, we've been in this business for about 20 years. So as part of our growth strategy, we did want to expand. And natural choice was Bangalore because a lot of similarities to Hyderabad. So we chose Bangalore. North Bangalore predominantly was because we studied that the North Bangalore market has a huge potential. And we foresee the next couple of years, North Bangalore is going to grow humongously. So that's what we thought should probably help us. I think we've been very lucky to get this parcel of land. When we acquired it about 2 years back, I looked around the area and I made a decision in a fraction of a second that this is going to be our first project. And what probably helped me was the infrastructure which is already around in this location. Right? You have a wonderful mall, you have a hotel, you have restaurants, you have already people living in the vicinity, schools are there, hospitals are nearby. So all these infrastructure which is already there would definitely help a buyer who would like to come and stay in this complex. So definitely I think all these inputs did entice us to choose this location.
Prashant, it's quite a serendipity. When I was coming to this project, Floric, I suddenly saw that I'm entering Bhartiya City. Being just adjacent to Bhartiya City means, this location is really fantastic. And I would really want to know more about this project where we are standing, what went behind designing this project, what is the USP of this project, and any other thing that you are very passionate about this project.
So this is a 9-acre property that we picked up about a year back and finally launched it shortly. So this is 4 towers that we have here, about 14.5 lakh square feet of saleable space, consisting of 4 towers. So in phase 1, we are launching 2 towers, and phase 2 will be launching another 2 towers with a gap of about 4 to 6 months between these 2 phases. We also have about 40,000 square feet of club space for entertainment and amenities here. So basically, we are very passionate about open spaces and greenery. That's been our core strength for all our projects.
So, Prashant, I have heard of landscapes, I've heard of hardscapes, but in such a long career, I haven't heard of bloomscapes. So, a lot of credit to you for this creativity, and I would want to know more about it and what's behind this thought.
See, Floric is all about floral theme, right? So as part of that floral theme, we've tried to ensure that we have as many number of floral related plants in the project. So that's why if you see here, we have almost about 22 varieties of flowers in our project. So we've tried to cater to all the local flowers that used to be there much earlier, which are actually missing these days. So we've tried to, jasmine is something which is very popular here in Bangalore. So all the local flowers is what we're trying to get into this project here.
Any future plans on Bangalore and anything else on Polemy which you have in mind as we progress? What next?
So Bangalore definitely is a very promising city, and we've come here not for just one project. We're going to be here for many years. So we want to take one step at a time. We're just planning to launch this project shortly, and once we see the success of this project, and definitely we do have plans. We have started scouting for other properties, but the process of conceptualization to the launch is definitely at least 2 years away. So I think within the next 2 years, we should hopefully see another project of Polemy in Bangalore. But for now, it's Polemy Floric, which is our focus for Bangalore.
It will be a memorable venture, for sure. Best wishes to Polemy, best wishes to Polemy Floric. And I can seriously say, because I understand this micro market, I've worked here as a developer, you are really going to do very well. Best wishes to Polemy and to Floric.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
From investment to design, there's a clear shift in how spaces are being imagined today. Now, in What's New, we explore a trend that's quietly gaining momentum. Japandi aesthetics meet Indian heritage, blending minimalism with warmth and functionality with cultural depth. Now, it's a movement towards soft luxury, where simplicity, materials, and mindful design come together to create an intuitive living space. Take a closer look.
nothing random, just pieces that mean something. Because today, homes are no longer about showing how much you can. They are about showing who you are. And this trend proves one thing: minimalism does not have to be cold. When blended with Indian heritage, it becomes warm, personal, and deeply meaningful. There was a time when the perfect home meant white walls, glossy floors, and picture-perfect symmetry. But today, that idea of luxury is quietly changing. Because after long days, busy lives, and constant stress, people don't want homes that look like showrooms. They want homes that feel like comfort. And that's where the new trend comes in: warm minimalism and soft luxury. It is clean, still uncluttered, but now it's softer, warmer, more human.
Nowadays, I am seeing a shift in how people are perceiving their homes. It's not white and glossy anymore. The shift is more towards minimalism, which is warm. It's more towards, earthy finishes and an earthy look. And it's all because there's a psychological shift, not a design shift.
The colors are inspired by nature: earthy terracotta, sandy beige, muted greens, replacing the cold whites and greys we have seen for years. Walls are no longer shiny or perfect. Instead, they have texture, finishes like lime wash and plaster that catch light and add quiet depth to the room. Furniture is evolving too. Less sharp edges, more curves, from rounded sofas to arched doorways. Everything feels more fluid, more inviting. Even fabrics are changing. Soft, tactical materials like linen and buckle that makes you want to sit down and stay. Because today, luxury is not about how expensive something looks.
And the light of our country, especially Asia, this part of the world, it's very bright, unlike the West. So the West might prefer glossy white finishes which look very good on Pinterest or Instagram. But the sunlight we have is so stark and harsh. We need warmer colors to make our surroundings look richer and inviting.
It's about how it makes you feel safe, relaxed, and at ease. And that's the shift we are seeing in real estate today. Homes are becoming less about perfection and more about presence. Spaces that don't just impress, but truly embrace when you walk in.
And beyond design and development, real estate is also shaped by decisions, risks, and lessons from the ground. In Clarity Corner today, we bring to you a war story by Ashwinder R. Singh ji, offering a closer look at the realities of the sector and the insights that don't always make it to the headlines. Here's that perspective.
In a world full of noise, clarity is the only real advantage. I'm Ashwinder R. Singh. Let's get to the point. Let's turn to a global development that seems distant, but it is not: the Iran conflict. Because in today's world, what happens in one region does not stay there. It flows through oil, inflation, interest rates, and capital. Let's start with oil. India imports over 80% of its crude requirement. Any disruption in the Middle East pushes oil prices higher, and when oil rises, construction costs rise, logistic costs rise, project costs rise. That is the first impact on real estate. The second is inflation. Higher oil prices feed inflation, and inflation delays interest rate cuts, which means home loans remain expensive, and that can slow demand in the short term. So yes, geopolitical tensions create near-term pressure. But that is only one side of the story. There is another trend unfolding quietly: in times of global uncertainty. Capital looks for stability, and India today is no longer an emerging story. It is an anchoring economy. We are seeing stronger institutional inflows, rising NRI participation, and sustained demand in premium housing. At the same time, rental markets remain firm with expected growth of 5 to 7% across major cities. Supply pipelines remain disciplined. Demand remains structural. So while global events may create volatility, they are not altering India's direction. If anything, they are reinforcing it, because every global disruption is quietly doing one thing. It is repositioning India from an alternative market to a preferred market. So what is the real impact of a conflict like this? Short-term, caution, cost pressure, delayed decision. Medium-term, selective resilience, stronger capital flows, premium market strength. Long-term, a deeper shift, India moving steadily towards becoming one of the world's leading real estate economies. And clarity is understanding this, that while the world may be uncertain, India's trajectory is not.
From global cues and infrastructure growth to evolving design philosophies and ground realities, real estate today is being shaped by multiple forces converging at once. That's all that we have for you in the 10th episode of Our Estate. My name is Nayan. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more stories and sharper insights from across the real estate landscape.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा सबका राजा आर्थिक मसाला केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
The Indian Air Force is giving its old MiG-29 fighter jets a powerful new weapon from Britain that turns them into modern fighters ready for today's battles. MiG-29s first came to India in the 1980s, have flown many missions along the tough borders with China and Pakistan. Now they are getting equipped with British ASRAAM missiles that make them as strong as NATO planes in close fights. The Ministry of Defense sent out a request for proposals to fit the Advanced Short-Range Air-to-Air Missile on the MiG-29 UPG version. This British missile from the company MBDA replaces the old Russian R-73 that pilots used for years. The R-73 could only reach targets 10 to 15 kilometers away, which forced pilots to fly too close to the enemy and take big risks. The ASRAAM changes all that. It can hit targets more than 25 kilometers away, almost double the old range. It flies at Mach 3 speed and uses a smart infrared seeker that ignores enemy flares and jamming better than before. The Indian Air Force flies more than 55 of these MiG-29 UPG jets in frontline squadrons. These planes guard the northern and western borders day and night. Earlier upgrades added new radars, engines, and digital cockpits, but the short-range missiles stayed old. Now the ASRAAM brings fire-and-forget technology. Once the pilot locks on and fires, the missile finds the target on its own, even if the jet turns away to dodge enemy fire. It also works with helmet-mounted displays, so the pilot can just look at the enemy plane through the visor and the missile follows the eyes. This high off-bore sight ability lets the jet attack from strange angles without turning the whole plane first. This upgrade matters a lot because the region stays tense. Pakistan flies JF-17 jets with modern PL-10 missiles that reach farther and lock on quicker. China uses even better systems on its J-20 stealth fighters and other planes. In a real dogfight, the old MiG-29 with